blimey. Well, it's another scorcher here in British Columbia. I maybe should have stayed in Vancouver, where at least close to the Pacific Ocean it felt a little bit cooler. However, I've come to the hottest place in Canada, Lytton, BC. This poor little place burnt entirely down in 2021, a day after recording the highest temperature ever seen north of 45. Well, I've come up this way because I couldn't get enough of the gorgeous scenery the last time I came through, and I wanted to see how little Lytton was doing. Sadly, well, it's being threatened by yet another wildfire, and it's looking pretty grim, so I'm really wishing the citizens of Lytton some better luck, and hopefully they make it through this one. Even though it's nothing like it at all, and I can be considered unreliable for having such an opinion, I'm getting a little bit of an Austria vibe here. The lakes of Austria. Where am I? Well, somehow I found myself in the Okanagan. It's quite far from Lytton, but here I am. It is a place that I would usually avoid because, it's kind of got a retirement thing going on, and I've never really given it much of a chance. We used to come here when I was a kid, driving through, summer vacation, and it's what people seem to think is Canada's only desert, but it's not really a desert. It's semi-arid shrublands. Yeah, some people call it a pocket desert, whatever that means. But anyway, I'm giving it a chance now, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm in Vernon. Well, this is definitely the time of day to go for a hike in this neck of the woods. It was around 30 degrees, so not as hot, but so way too hot. The sun was so intense. So I waited till, about 7 o'clock actually, to start this walk. And now the only problem is, I don't want the sun to go down before I get back to the car, because actually, this is a really challenging trail. Super trail, Clearwater Ranch. 9 kilometers, pretty much straight up. And I'm waiting for that fantastic view over Vernon, Lake Kalamalka, and Lake Okanagan. So I better get going. I'm still sweating though, even though it's cool and in the evening. It's a slog. There we are. Ooh, sun is going down in about half an hour. So I'm going to make this quick. What a shame. I would have loved to have been up here for a sandwich and a nice cup of tea and some biscuits. Lake Kalamalka, Lake Okanagan. Amazing to be able to see them both. They're both extraordinary in their own way. I'm going to take you down to see the color of Kalamalka later in the video. But for now, I'm going to catch my breath and scoot back down the mountain. think I'm going to change the name of the channel to Switchback Jack. Backpacking and gear review channel. Like we need another one of those. Well, the dreaded wildfire smoke is rolling in. Well, I just referred back to the smoke radar map again, and oh gosh, there's a lot of wildfires burning in the States right now, and we've got a southerly wind, so it's blowing up this way. There's a few that have started up here too. Well, how's that for timing? Any longer I would have been using my phone for a flashlight. Forgot my head torch. Always forgetting something. Right, off to find a nice wild camping spot that I noticed on Overlander, not too far away. A Forest Service road and into some crown land. So proper, what do you call it here? You don't call it wild camping. I gotta start getting the lingo straight. Boondock. That's it. Looking for a boondock spot. So good night. We'll see you later. Thanks for coming along today. It was good walking. Well, I'm trying to work Vernon out in a very short period of time, so it's probably going to be vastly unfair. I'm walking down the main strip in downtown, which is, I'm sorry, but exceedingly uncharming. If they pedestrianized it, at least partially, and revitalized it, I hope they're aiming for a plan to do that. That would be great. So Vernon's history lies in all of my favorite sort of white Westerner European things. Fur trading, and of course the charming missionaries that came to convert everybody. And then it went into ranching. It's just so bloody awful walking down this main drag. It's Sunday, it should be quiet. Anyway, I'm going to go this way. It's quieter. Where were we? Fur trading, missionaries, ranching, and agriculture. So, from my childhood, what I remember all of the Okanagan for mostly was fruit. And of course we came, so many of us, from the prairie provinces to vacation here when we were children. And it was all about orchards. And it was, of course, the summer vacation. Orchards and cherries and peaches, my favorite. Oh my God, there's another surplus Herbies. Of course I have to go to Surplus Herbies, even if I was only in their sister store a couple of days ago. I must really get out of here, for heaven's sake. Well, that revived me completely. And I'm back into my old habits of going into Surplus Herbies and not actually buying anything. I'm still being quite happy. So what is Vernon today? Well, there's around 70,000 people in the greater Vernon area. And it seems so much bigger because it's quite sprawled out into these other communities, like where I was walking yesterday. And Vernon seems to attract large retirement communities coming here for the better climate and easier access to all that the outdoors here has to offer, including the beautiful lakes. So it's all boating and fishing, and there seems to be beautiful, beautiful ranchland type walks. And I just love that. Could I live here? Not right this very minute. Maybe in about 20 years or so. Well, I can't help but notice that there's an awful lot of murals here in Vernon. I know it's sort of a thing for these smaller towns, but this is a nice story. One woman, Michelle Lachery, and her students undertook this around 1998 in an effort to revitalize the flagging downtown area and to engage the youth whom she got involved with it all. And sadly, Vernon is suffering what a lot of these little towns are suffering, and the big cities here. It's the fentanyl and opioid crisis. I mean, it's just absolutely devastating. Archives. We'll have a look. Looking very much like an outbuilding at the Barbican in central London. Almost brutalist. Oh, there now I really am getting pretentious. Ha! Closed. Closed on the weekend. I wonder if Vernon has the most number of murals per capita in all of Canada. I'm going to check on that statistic. I'll let you know. More military murals. I do like a good mural. I mean, I think it's a nice way to zhuzh up an area, a town, probably relatively inexpensively, and talk about history. And as long as they're inclusive murals, talking about everything and everybody. Well, there's a huge number of curry restaurants here in town, and it's great if you like curry, which I do. There also seems to be quite a few Mexican places. A very large population of farm and ranch workers here from Mexico and Central America. I hope I haven't been hugely unfair to Vernon. I actually really love it. It reminds me of a market town. So a good functional workaday market town mixed with this tourist retirement component and all of this grandeur and beauty and the lakes and the orchards. I mean, it is amazing. It's just the downtown that needs sorting, in my opinion. I've just seen it so often in Europe. You know, when there's a commitment to pedestrianization in the downtown core, it brings it to life again. Well, this is Lake Kalamalka. Isn't it beautiful? I mean, don't you just feel like you could be in the Caribbean somewhere, or Mediterranean, or somewhere along the coast of Tunisia? Well, you're here, so why think about other places? It is really beautiful, and I've been very lucky, and I found myself a spot, not only to perch for the day and fly my little drone, but to spend the night with that view. I mean, it's just incredible. However, I've got some cleaning up to do. Had a little accident, a little siphoning issue with my 18.9 liter bottle of water. The whole thing ended up in the boot well. So, well, that's okay. At least it's nice and hot. It'll dry fast. Well, after I mop up the rest of the water, I drag myself away from the tender shores of Lake Kalamalka and here for Lake Okanagan, just crossing the bridge, getting out of Kelowna after a mad shopping expedition. And Kelowna is the big city here, and it's nuts. I just couldn't get out of there fast enough. And I spent the night in Summerland, and now I'm working my way back up and towards the Rocky Mountains again, coming through Peachland. And at the time of recording this, well, Peachland is under an evacuation order for, yes, you guessed it, wildfire. I mean, it's just absolutely apocalyptic in the true sense of that word. As I edit this video, it's several days after the start of that fire, and it looks like it's calmed down slightly. Well, again, good luck to all of the residents over there. I'm preparing to take my leave of the Okanagan. You know, all of my prejudgments have been slightly modified, and I really enjoyed my visit around Vernon, particularly the walking and the murals. That was all very lovely. But the heat wave is set to continue, and nights are still going to be very hot and sticky and horrible to sleep in. So I'm just going to move towards the mountains again, towards the Rockies, the Purcells, the Bugaboos, and look for some more activity, keeping in mind that, I don't want to spark any wildfires going up the Forest Service roads, and I need to know my evacuation routes should I need to get out. I mean, it's a pretty intense situation here. Anyway, thanks for coming along for this one, and we'll see you in the next. Bye now.